So before we get started, dude, I have to say, this Geico commercial, I am so tired of seeing it before kickoff, halftime, after kickoff. We get it, dude. You have insurance.
You know what? I still like the Burger King one, man. Still gets in my head. BK, have it your way. Still good. Still good.
You rule.
Still knocks.
We're talking about it, so it's worked.
Yeah, facts.
It has, because actually the main reason I bring it up is, you know which commercial I'm talking about, right? With the walkie-talkies to the referee. These two guys in the stand.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I don't like that one, actually.
I'm curious if that's a dig at the Premier League.
I feel like it's just a dig at refs in general. This is the reality now, right? This is the reality of reffing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think it's directed necessarily at the Premier League, but this is where we are. This is who we are now.
But to be fair, to quote the king of pop, Michael, the man in the mirror. Sometimes maybe when you're looking at it, hey, look at your own perspective, because it does apply to the Prem. That's a fact. Good shout.
So we'll see. Honestly, we'll get into this, obviously, but Copa is giving me the same vibe. So let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another District Gooner Pod, episode 53. I'm KP, and we have a lot to chat about. We got the Euros going into the LIII. We have Copa America reactions to the group stage. So, maybe we'll have a little mystery man at the end of it all. And so buckle up, and happy Independence Day, America. Steven, my co-host, say hi to the people.
Howdy. We hitting you on July 3rd, so yeah, get this on July 4th. For those of you in the U.S., happy 4th. Hope you get the day off. Gonna take Thursday and Friday off this week, long weekend, so should be having some fun ahead. And we got our favorite guest on again, Ron Reyes.
They can't get rid of me. I'm here to stay. Yeah, it's good to be back. Nice to join you on a 3-day work week. Love a 3-day work week. Looking forward to being in the pool, maybe gobbling a dog, doing what's right on the 4th of July.
Damn, I didn't think we were going to have a glizzy shout out.
Call me Joey Chestnut.
Did you see he's not going to be in the competition this year?
Yeah, there was a sponsorship issue between him and like Nathan's hot dogs.
He asked to eat vegetarian dogs or something like that, and Nathan's doesn't have it. They're like, no, you have to eat our dogs. And he said, nah, your glizzy's not for me. I'm not competing this year. Crazy.
So this will be the first time in like a couple of years that he's not going to win it.
Yeah, goat.
He's been dominant. They're doing a Netflix showdown though between him and like Kobayashi. Remember the Japanese guy that used to gobble those dogs? Apparently they're doing a Netflix special on like Memorial Day or something like that, where they're just doing a face-off. Wow,
that'd be cool. I know Kobayashi well, the Kobayashi wiggle, for those of you who remember.
Netflix is really they're getting more and more into sports and just like live contest broadcasting. So yeah, that's a pretty good shout. They're not a sponsor of the pod. Just a shout out, right? Friends of the show.
Not yet.
So listen, man, let's get into the football a little bit with Copa. I think the US officially got grouped, and heard it here first, but there's a lot of dissent going around from my two friends here. So how are we feeling, man? What's your reaction about it all?
I think we kind of covered it mostly. Like, disappointing, silver lining in it, but the silver lining doesn't feel good because it's just repeated history. It's very disappointing when you go through the cycle with this manager. he's not the guy, right? I think everybody knows he's not the guy. The association knows he's not the guy. They spent a year doing their search for a new manager. What do we need? And we end up hiring him again. Same results, right? It doesn't make sense for having this talented squad. In my opinion, it's a talented squad, a talented group of players. From the U.S. teams I've experienced in my lifetime, this is the most talented group, but it is not the best team by far. Like, American teams are known a certain way, kind of a grittiness, maybe that lower block, counterattacking football, heart. Think of Clint Dempsey, Landon Donovan, Aguchi Ayewu, like just players that had the passion for it. I'm not seeing it. I think Pulisic does have something. I do actually like him for the U.S., no lie. I do like him, and I like the way he plays for us. There's a certain few players, but it's not good enough, and I hope he's gone, and whoever comes in is kind of a hard ass, to be honest.
Heart, passion, identity. Those were features of the previous World Cup squads that the USA have put out. And I just don't see the identity. I don't see it, right? I see a little bit of frustration more, not necessarily heart. I see a lot of frustration on the faces of some of these Americans that we're seeing play. And like you said, I think that they are probably the most talented squad that we've ever had. And so it makes it even that more frustrating to see that, who would have thought that Greg would not be the person to take us to the promised land? Oh yeah, maybe 90% of USA soccer fans, right? And so it's hard to, again, subscribe to what the Federation has decided to do, which is to hire Greg, when I feel like everyone knew what was going to happen and knew who Greg was.
Let me ask you a question, Keon, because you support a country that usually ends up in World Cups in recent years, and I feel like by the end of the tournament you're proud of that team, right? They're not going in to win it, they're not going to win it, but you're proud of the way they play, because I think they show respect for themselves, they show respect for their fans, right? Watching the U.S. team, I don't get that impression. I mean, is that kind of what you see?
Honestly, it's pretty interesting because you don't even have to look that far. You just look at the Euros and the Copa, and you think about the destination of the U.S. for these games. Like, this final game was in Kansas City. They couldn't sell out Arrowhead Stadium. You know what I mean? I think that alone says a lot about yes, the players, but also the support. Maybe. I mean, we're sitting here and we're reflecting on it now. And beforehand, Steven, I think expectations were just get out of the group. Next round, we were already thinking, oh, it's probably going to be eliminated in the next round, whoever we play. So, and now it's like, okay, it's over with, right? It's very reminiscent to Belgium, I think, because you don't see the players really cry afterwards. I've never seen a Belgian player cry after they get knocked out of the Euros. It's just like an expectation. And it's kind of the same thing here, where it's like, oh, well, we underachieved again. Like, saw we. Nothing you can do about it, just everyone goes on with their life. It's like, let's look forward to the Olympics now. So let's go gymnastics, Yeah,
that's a great shout. They had the after the game interview with Matt Turner, who was terrible. I don't want to see him in the goal again. I'm so sick of this dude. But he has the interview after the game, basically talking good about Berhalter. We're headed in the right direction. I don't think this was a disappointment, blah, blah, blah. Who are you trying to save face? Who are you speaking for? Know to your audience in that situation. Belgium's a great shot because that's technically their golden generation, right? That's been thrown out. The word has been thrown out. The phrase, golden generation. What have they done? Nothing. U.S., the term golden generation has been thrown out for this group of players. What have they done? Absolutely nothing. They've won a few gold cups. Mexico's the only team in that tournament that's top 15, and they're probably borderline on that. So it's just kind of, it's getting to a point where I'm kind of embarrassed about it, to be honest. It's kind of embarrassing. If I was on the team, I'd be embarrassed. So I wouldn't want to play for this manager. Give me someone else, because I'm better than this. I want to play in Europe. I want to play for good teams. I'm a U.S. national team player that can't compete in a Copa. Yikes, that's not good.
Right, and I mean, post game, like, shouldn't you still be angry? Shouldn't you still be mad about being out of the tournament? Shouldn't you, like, maybe even a couple of weeks following, if you say you can reflect on, and if that's your opinion, sure, of, you know, we're headed in the right direction. But at this point, that just sounds like just pure BS and PR, right? Of, are we just backing Greg for no reason? Are we comfortable with where we're at? Where's your fight for more? Where's your fight for knowing that we're a better squad than what we showed today? Like, that is so frustrating to see and to hear from who should be a leader of the squad being a goalkeeper.
Yeah, so looking around the rest of the tournament, I'm honestly not too interested. I did watch Brazil Colombia last night.
That was a good game, dude.
That was a good game.
Weird VAR decision. Did you see that penalty? What'd you think about that?
I am kind of also not interested in watching the Copa very much anymore, man. They've really kind of pulled me off the train. I would like the game because I like the way they play, like the style. It's very much just kind of high intensity, high paced games. But the refereeing in these games are terrible. Like, it's really putting me off. The way the gamesmanship from all of these teams is not great. I don't like that style. I don't like that. But yeah, like, how is that not a penalty, man? The decisions in the U.S. game were weird. They're just wild decisions going on. Like, the refereeing in the Copa's really turned me off, to be honest, which is bad.
I agree with you, dude. I feel like every match that I've watched, there's been a fight. Every single match. And it doesn't involve the fans, ever. It's just the players. So something's just off, man. The referees are... the decision-making, not so great. The game management, not so great. And yeah, we've kind of been spoiled with the European referees, because especially in the court, that last game, we'll get to this, bro. That referee to close out the Euros, wow. Let the boys play, but also keep it respectful. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, the product is completely different, isn't it? When it comes to crowds, when it comes to the referee, when it comes to the whole product, right? It's completely different in the Euro and Copa, right? It's nice to have that, like, direct comparison, because we watch the Euro in the morning and afternoon, and then we finish the night off with Copa as well. So it is a little bit more feisty in the Copa games, but at the same time, it's like, what is the difference between, like, a spicy game and a game that's just clearly out of control, and the product itself has diminished completely too, right? And it doesn't help that it feels like sometimes the output of the crowds doesn't necessarily match the output of the spiciness of of what's on the pitch as well. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic between the two.
I'll tell you what, though, I've been watching most of them on Spanish channels, and still the Geico commercial pops up. That's unbelievable, man. But let's reflect, however, on, like, how we did in our predictions for the groups really quickly. So from Group A, Argentina and Canada came out. I think we had that on the pod.
Yeah.
Group B, I think, Steven, you nailed that. Venezuela and Ecuador.
Yeah. Venezuela, bro. And they top. I think they were top of the group.
They won all three matches, yeah.
Vamos.
It was really cool. It's really cool to see them. I think that's a team that you were asking, Steven, that, like, you still feel very proud of. Like, I feel like they're going to be very proud of the performances that they've put in and what they're getting out of it.
100%.
Uruguay, Panama. I know we had that one on the pod, so skip through that. And then Colombia and Brazil. That was a pretty easy one overall. So pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Who you guys? I guess so. That's for the knockout rounds. I'm gonna stick with Colombia. I'm gonna stick with that as my champ. But there's a couple good teams. Who you guys pulling for?
I still have Argentina winning. I feel like they're a pretty well-oiled machine. They obviously didn't need to play all of their starters or anything like that for the third match, so that's not a really good indicator. But yeah, I think Argentina for me still is my favorite.
I didn't even realize that Brazil was playing Uruguay.
Yeah, that's why that game was important, because whoever got top of the group didn't have to play them.
They played Panama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Colombia has a pretty good route, it seems. I think after watching the games, I want to say Uruguay. I want to see them win. I feel like they've put in really good performances. But I'll stick to Brazil for now. This is tough. That game is wow. This is tough, dude.
It's kind of weird the way that they drew up the bracket, right? Because the two teams from each group are on the same side of the quarterfinal. It looks like.
I haven't actually seen the bracket. Let me pull it up.
Oh, another fun fact about the Copa knockout games: there's no extra time. If it ends after 90, to all tied up, then they go straight to pens, except for the final.
Oh wow!
So that'll be an interesting piece.
Cool. That's not bad, to be honest. Talking about the refereeing thing. The added time for these games is just terrible.
Gross.
It's like non-existent. So we're talking Qatar 2022, tons of time added. 10, 15 minutes if needed. It's like I don't know if it's because this is being shot in America and got to get their commercial time in, but no added time. So yeah, screw it. Let's just go to pens. Get our commercials in early.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm looking at the bracket now. I see what you mean. So Group A is just basically versus Group B, and Group C is versus Group D. There's not a big shuffle in it. So yeah, it's very likely that like Brazil will play Colombia again in the semis after 2 matches. Yeah.
Isn't that just bad product though, right? Like you want to see new matchups, right? As a fan, like perhaps, I mean, if it was a really good match like Colombia, Brazil, like sure, like that's a fun thing, but wouldn't it be better for Argentina to play Brazil potentially in the semifinal or Colombia in the semifinal? Like that would be a cool thing. And, like you said, I mean, Venezuela has won all 3 of their matches as well, but they have a chance to just play the same team over again. And I feel like that's not as fun.
All right. Well, all good. Let's actually start looking at the bracket for the Euros. A lot of good games over these last few days, huh?
Honestly, that was an incredible round. Not many upsets. I would say no upsets. Maybe the last game, the Turkey, but all of the underdogs were in these games, man. They were incredible. Teams going 1-up. The England game, that was tight all the way to the end. I would almost say like perfection of what you can expect for a round of 16 where there's still some weaker sides in there. Chef's kiss, man.
Portugal went to pens. That's fun. Cristiano missed a penalty. That's even more fun. Yeah, I mean, even like the Swiss-Italy game was pretty close for a long time until they finished it off. So yeah, I mean, it was a great round of 16. All the matches were super entertaining, like just beautiful to watch.
It was one performance I enjoyed watching the most was William Saliba versus Lukaku. That France-Belgium game, you knew it was going to be a 0-0. I felt like going into it, right? But wow, dude. Have you seen the comps, Steven? They flooded the timeline, bro.
Big man. He didn't get the man of the match, which was, too bad. But yeah, he's on his, we'll go ahead and say, we haven't said it yet. He's on his P's and Q's, man. He's on his stuff. France winning another game by an own goal. Madness.
No goals from open play for France yet. That's insane.
For as good of a team they have.
Yeah.
Crazy, but
that was such a bad shot. Like it was never going in. The France one
for the own goal, yeah,
for the own goal. It was just like that's never going in. That was crazy. That's the best shot we got off, and it went in.
Yeah, Vertonghen, man.
Poor guy. Jinx, dude. Yeah, it was tough.
What else we got on here? Christie. I'll say my piece about Christie. I actually am rooting for him, man. I am. You can tell he's past it. He's old. But I feel like he's really trying. Like he's really got the passion for it. I wouldn't say I'm a huge Cristiano fan. I've always thought Messi's better than him. But Messi's just more talented. Purely more talented. He's just the better player. He's better than everybody. Whereas Christie's like the more classic. He gets headers. He gets all kinds of goals. He's just trying really hard. So I am rooting for him. But the crying thing, I'll let you take that.
So it's not even like I can respect that he was very emotional. Like there's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with showing emotion on the pitch or anything like that. But the memes that it has produced has also been just a real joy to see on the timeline. I mean, you had, who was it? I think it was Dallo come up to him and like kind of G him up and be like, hey, you're okay. Like it's okay. Which is just funny as well, right? Like I think that he saw his moment. He wanted it really badly. What the pen was like in the 80th, right?
It was an extra time.
Oh, was it an extra time?
The first extra time.
Okay, yeah. So even worse, right? Like the more the opportunity to score the game winner, hopefully that kind of thing. Because I don't think that Slovenia really had all that much to offer moving forward. So if they score that goal, they're probably just hanging on, for the second period of extra time, and then to see how upset he was, because I am a bit of I don't really like Cristiano all that much. It was a bit of a joy to watch.
Keeping it real on the pod, dude. I respect that. I'll tell you what, man. First of all, totally fine to cry. Second of all, Cristiano alone has cried at more Euros than every person on the Belgium team. So I'm rooting for him. I think it'll be cool if he gets to lift that trophy. I agree with you. You could see he wanted to score that pen. He wanted to take his shirt off, but just didn't come together for him, man. But hey, who did step up to be the hero? Diego Costa. Wow.
That was crazy. I mean, I saw the penalty shootout going like very differently in my head. I can't believe I didn't think Christie was going to take a second one. I thought he was, because we already saw him crying. I can't believe he made that. That was crazy. Oblak almost had it, and then Oblak, what a game! Had so many saves, saved the pen. I thought he was riding a high and was just going to dominate. And then you look over and there's this other keeper, Diego Costa, and all three saves were like on the money. They weren't terrific penalties, but like they were good enough. Like they weren't awful pens. But man, all three of them, bang, bang, bang. That was nuts.
They were, dude, and Arsenal fans online were quick to remind everyone that the Porto man was put 4 past, right?
Let them know. We remember.
I'll tell you, the one thing about the game that stood out to me was Sesko. Not so great. I think I've said this before on the pod. Don't just rely on the comps. Watch a full game for yourself. See the chances the guy gets and doesn't convert. I don't know, man. Yes, there's a lot of potential. I'm happy to wait for now.
Yeah, potential. He obviously has potential. He had some great chances. He could have won the game. He probably should have won the game. He blew by Pepe on that one chance, which was sweet. Man, Pepe is still a great player. Excellent. But he just blew past him. And then that one at the end of the game off the mistake. 1v1 with Costa. And that was just, I don't know if he got his feet wrong or what. It was just a bad finish. So,
yeah.
Hey, we'll see.
That's what dreams are made of, right? Like you want that opportunity as a striker to put your country through as an underdog, and to not sink that, I feel like has got to be a big blow for him. He's probably thinking still about the match. And I think you're right, Keon, like with the amount that was attached to his fee, I don't know if that's worth it for a player of his caliber at this moment, right? Maybe in a couple of years, maybe in a year, if he gets more goals under his belt and more composure in front of goal. But right now, that seems like a too hefty of a price tag to be paying for him.
Totally, dude. Well, let's stay with you, Ron, because from Slovenia to Slovakia, Ron versus Southgate, what every listener has been waiting for. What did you make of that fucking performance, huh?
Good Lord. I mean, first of all, it's the same stuff, right? They rolled out essentially the same team as before. I think they had Menu starting at the center mid instead of Gallagher, which I support that move as a whole, but still everything else is still the exact same. I know that we had previously talked about Saka playing left back, and he did. at the end of the match as well. And I just still feel like his subs are so late. I think he subbed on, Ivan Toney at like the 94th, maybe right before the goal.
It was like the 93rd. I think that had +5, like 93rd minute.
Insane. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you seeing this product on the pitch and thinking like, yeah, let's ride this out. This looks good. Like we're really challenging here, because it took a wonderful goal, like a wonder goal from Jude Bellingham, who, I mean, he had a terrible match. He was not good. A moment of magic, all credit to him. Like, he earns all of the plaudits for that goal, but he was horrible during that whole match. And most of England was horrible during that match. And it took that moment of magic to be able to carry them along the finish, or across the finish line. And so I think there's still a lot to be figured out by Southgate, because, I mean, he tried some things at the end, but that was only because he really, really had to, because the game was really on the line, and he still waited until the very, very end to make a lot of those changes, which is super disappointing. But I'm hopefully thinking that he'll see Saka at left back, and maybe not necessarily like start with that to move forward, but maybe in the 60th, if they're down like 1-0 or something like that, that's an option where you see Saka bombing down the left side, and either Phil or whomever's on the left wing be able to go inside, and that creates more of an opportunity for England to create. Because right now, again, like we said in the last pod, Trippier and Foden on the left side isn't necessarily working at this point.
So yeah, it's for KP. Got Tony on at the end of the game. Saka went from like left wing back to right wing back at the end of the game. He actually changed it up. Do you think he should next game? New flavors?
I mean, you have to reflect on the game and see what kind of worked well. I think in that extra time after they had the lead, after they made all the changes and they got to go back to the locker room, they came out and they had Bellingham, Rice, and Palmer in the middle. That trio in the middle seemed to work very well. Now, maybe it was against the tired midfield on the other side. Could Palmer put in a defensive shift? I think maybe he can. I feel like everyone keeps comparing Palmer to Saka, but Palmer is like Odegaard, and he was really allowing Saka to play a lot more on that right side by supporting him. So that was like a key takeaway for me to maybe try to repeat. On the other side, dude, it felt like this whole time they've been training and had some kind of weird formation in their back pocket. And like they almost purposefully want to be put into this position. And even when they were winning 2-1, dude, it looked like they really wanted to lose that game on penalties, bro. They really wanted to.
I completely agree. I think they escaped. They got super, super lucky. I wonder, as an England fan, if you think you deserve to win the game, because I don't think there's any way in hell you think you deserve to win that game. Jude Bellingham, I mean, point to the name on your back of the jersey. Like that's like the moment that legends are made of, right? To Ron's point, I don't think he had a great game. Not great at all. Kind of a passenger. Wasn't making a stamp on things, but when you're on the pitch, 95th minute, and you pull off a bike, like, yeah, that's why he's on the field, right? We've said that about soccer before in the past. That's why you keep someone like that on the field, 100%. Harry Kane, I don't think he's good. I'm sorry, like the way they're playing, guy's not getting any chances. Yeah, he got that tap-in header, but I would say Ivan Toney did the work for that. That's just a tap-in header. The left wing still an issue. Left back still, I don't think Trippier's the guy to go to. We talked about last week the media, the English media, like the effects of it. When I'm watching that game and it's the 80th, it's the 85th, it's the 90th, and they still have like 3 subs. Honestly, what I'm thinking is he's scared to take his dogs off the field. He doesn't want to take Harry Kane off. He doesn't want to take Jude off because of the backlash he'll get. But I don't think they deserve to stay on. I would love to see an Ollie Watkins come on, full of pepper, versus Harry Kane dropping deep and all that. Like this isn't a time to drop deep, right? It's 1-0. He doesn't have the legs. Let's get someone that can push through the line. I hope they play differently next game. I kind of would have loved there's a part of me that would have loved them to lose and just be like Greg Berhalter, like have that. Southgate's done. He's just toast. He's probably counting his lucky stars right now. Southgate is. So I still can't imagine me being a fan of that team and being like, I want this guy as my manager, because it's just not good.
It's not great. And I have to go back to their expectations of their supporters. I think that's really important because England, Slovakia, before kickoff, again, what were they expecting? That they were going to go and win 4-1 like Spain did against Georgia? Like, it's not in your blood, bro. Like, it's not the way you play, man. So also take a step back, maybe reflect on your own expectations and what you want to see. But I tell you, man, what's filling up. Go ahead.
I gotta ask, you don't think they could, though? You don't think their team's good enough to dominate Slovakia? They should have, in my opinion, going in the game, they should dominate.
I'm in that same boat as well. I feel like the expectations are very level with the squad that they have, right? Like, they should expect to do that. They should expect to dominate the tournament. And I don't think that that's necessarily a reflection on false expectations. I think that's a reflection on how bad Southgate and the makeup of this team has been.
It's the team, right? To me, it's the team. The team isn't good. The players are excellent. It's the team.
Right.
You think this is just England and this is football heritage?
I just met your expectations of it being 4-1 or being a 4-0 game because, like I always say, when I watch it, you always win 1-0.
But who's calling for that, right? Like, I don't see a whole lot of stuff like that from the media or from anybody on the timeline as far as like, oh, we're going to kill Slovakia or like after the first game of the tournament, I feel like everyone's levels were pretty expectation levels were pretty far below, what they were going into it. So I just don't know. I don't feel like I'm seeing that as
Are you saying that you don't see it in the sense of the scoreline because like people are just their expectation for the match play is different? Like if I see a performance but it's a 1-0, I'm okay with it, but the way we win these 1-0s is unacceptable for me.
Yeah, I think that there's more expectation in the method in which they play than the scoreline that's produced at the end of the match.
It's the performance.
Right.
Okay.
In Portugal, that Portugal game, Portugal performed well. They had created a lot. They created a ton of chances. I think they dominated. They just, ended up the opposing team did what they needed to do and drag it to pens. That was their goal. They did it, and they almost pulled off the upset versus England. It was like, these guys are going toe-to-toe with us. We're not dominating. They have plenty of chances, too. So I think the performance should be better. That's the expectation.
Right.
Okay, I totally hear you now. Cool. Well, thanks for clarifying on that. And let's talk about someone who did dominate. Nico Williams.
Ooh, continue.
That train is boarding, big man. People are standing outside with their signs.
Keep going. Keep going.
They're waving. Some of them are already waving. You can hear the conductor throwing some of these little charcoals in there, man. And it's like, it's burning up, bro. Hit him with a choo-choo, man. It's coming home, dude.
Bro, you made the call. I am on the train. I jumped on. It was passing me by. I jumped on before.
I had my hand reaching out, bro, reaching out the window.
That's the first time I've seen him play like a game. And I'm on that train, bro. He's a player. Like, dude's a player.
I saw since the talking points had started during the Euros, people were saying that one of the things he lacks is maybe the conversion rate and being in front of goal, and comparing that to saying, well, how different is that from a Martinelli? I think when I watch Nico Williams, one big difference about him is that he's always dribbling with his head up. First of all, his head is up, big man. He knows where that ball is. He knows where the touches are. But wow, that goal, dude. I've never seen Martinelli hit a ball like that, big man. So also, like, respect the game a little bit.
No, dude's a player. I mean, I'm with it. He's a absolute standout for this tournament. So I hope there's a lot of noise coming for that one.
He's crispy, huh? Like, it just feels like he knows what he's going to do, and he imposes his will on the fullback that's in front of him. So it's really fun to watch. That finish is incredible. It seems like he's been saying that he's going to stay with his club. So, he seems to be shutting down a lot of rumors, that I'm sure have been coming his way since his tournament play has been so good.
Well, I think I had mentioned that I had heard he has a release clause of like 55 or 58 or something like that. But apparently he's on 200K a week for his wages. And if he's moving club, obviously he's not going to want less than that. So,
true.
Tough ask.
True. Okay. I'm glad you called him out early.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, look, that performance for Spain was pretty impressive. Going down 1-0, you were rooting for Georgia, but they like I said, just not the best date for Cinderella, dude. Too methodical. So let's go to a team that England will be facing in the next round, Switzerland, who put on a show as expected, dude, and routed Italy, to be honest.
They did it. I mean, Italy kind of poor, I think. It was kind of a poor performance from them. It was less of a performance from them, I thought, than what I expected. I expected them to be in the game, but I think it was a well-deserved victory by Switzerland.
They looked organized. They looked competitive. They looked like they knew what they were doing. And Italy looked like they were just toothless, right? It looked like the game happened to them, right? It's not like they were playing in the game. It was just that whatever Switzerland did kind of moving forward, Italy tried to absorb, and they obviously couldn't to some degree. So really great performance from the Swiss. I imagine England fans have to be pretty worried about facing Switzerland coming into this next round.
And KP, where was our dude J20 at? What happened?
He was used as the graphic for Bleacher Report. Did you see that?
No.
They had used a graphic of him that had gotten photoshopped with spaghetti getting poured on top of his head and saying that Italy get knocked out, and the guy didn't play a single minute. So it's just like big club tings, bro.
I'm surprised he didn't play. And on the commentary, the ones that we got, they were giving him a shout like, I'm surprised Jorginho wasn't playing. I think at this point, because they're getting schooled, like he'd be a great sub to have. Maybe they just threw in the towel.
Maybe, but a center mid who was in the game, dude. Granit Xhaka, what a year he's having. What an absolute dog out there, still running to the best he can. Not as fast as he can, but hey, still running, And I've seen shouts for Ballon d'Or online, bro.
I like that. I like that a lot. I love a player that just like shows out for their country, and like James Rodriguez is like of that. Watching him last night, don't know where he's been playing club ball. I know he wasn't great at, but just for Colombia, he's just silky smooth. You can tell he's the guy, they get him the ball. Xhaka is like that for Switzerland. Like he's the guy. He's been the guy. He always shows up for these international tournaments. Like I like that a lot. That's cool.
Absolutely, dude. A guy who's also been emerging as one of those players, it feels like, is Cody Gakpo this tournament for Netherlands. He's really put in a shift these last few games for them, and he had a very nice performance against who were they playing?
Romania.
Against Romania, yeah. It was a good shot. The assist was a lot better than the goal, but yeah, it's another player who didn't have a great year for Liverpool, but maybe it's too early to call it on that one.
They look good. Did you catch it, Ron?
I watched the first half. I didn't watch the second half, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah, the first half, the first 15 minutes, I think Romania was in the game. And then once the Netherlands scored, I feel like the whole momentum shifted and they were just in full gear at that point.
Yeah, Romania wasn't to the level. They just couldn't. I don't think they could compete. Once that first goal went in, it's kind of a done deal. But Netherlands, they look decent. I think I like Memphis. I like Javi Simmons. They obviously have Van Dijk. I still rate him. Like their team, give Gakpo a shout. They have players in their team, so I think they could still make some noise.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll see. I still back them to fumble it, maybe, but I do have to give them
but
credit.
They got them Turkey boys coming. Turkey. Ooh.
They sure do, dude. The dark horse of the tournament, big man. Heard it here first. Did you watch that Turkey-Austria game, huh?
Did I watch it? Oh man, I watched that thing from top to bottom, from the head to the toes. Ooh wee! That thing was thangin'. that was a game, man. Like, it's crazy how I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't really care who wins. Just watching because I love the game. And wow, from the get go, I mean, Turkey scores. They are all over him though. Austria is just all over him trying to bang this thing in. The rest of the game, they're all over him. But Turkey, man, they just I want to say it's like a rope-a-dope situation. Like, Ali, they're on the ropes. They're just taking all these punches, and out of nowhere, another corner, bang, hit him with another one, 2-0. But Austria, man, they kept swinging. They just kept swinging. They kept swinging, and the save at the end of the game.
Wow, dude.
What else can you ask for? The referee, the fact we're in a group chat. The fact that we're commenting on how good this guy is. The referee was incredible. Like, the energy in the game, how he kept it under control, let things go both ways. Like, nobody was arguing with him. Let fouls go. Get up. I love and he puts his hand. Get up. Keep playing. Get up. It was an incredible game, man. My heart's racing just thinking about it.
Save of the tournament. Gunak. That was incredible. I thought that was in for sure. Just to get down, get that strong of an arm on it. I mean, I think I read on X that the XG for that chance was 0.94.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's cool, dude.
They slung in so many balls into the box. Turkey great defensively, right? They got their goal off of a cross though, so it finally paid off. To get that chance, you think of like Jude Bellingham scoring a bike, like I could say it's lucky, it's skill, whatever. Like, that's a tough. Then you get that header and he puts it into the ground, like, oh, textbook stuff. What a save! The fact that he slung it wide, I can't believe it, man.
Yeah, you can't even fault the header for that, right? Like, no, I feel like you see things like Lukaku in front of goal, right? And the keeper saves it, and it's because he didn't place it well or because it was straight to him. Like, that's a great header. That's exactly what you should be doing. And that save is just something otherworldly.
Yeah, no, it really was, dude. You know who's very good at placing it? Is the return of King Kai, dude. You see that penalty, big man? Pick it out of the corner. Schmeichel, wow, what a dive, dude. I thought he was good. He's very good at penalties. But wow, he's back. He was listening, dude. He knows. We called him out, dude. Here he comes. Golden boot alert.
Golden boot alert. I respect the Kai, man. I think there's been kind of like the whole talk about him. That's just the commonplace thing where he's great because he eats up space, yada. And then there's the other side of the crowd that's like, he doesn't do anything. He's not producing. So like, there's always that. He's on both ends of the spectrum. But don't matter what people are saying in his ear, he takes up for his country and takes the pen. I mean, that's big. That's big time things.
All right, well, we kind of chatted about it already, but let's make some predictions, man. Let's keep it with that Netherlands and Turkey, and well, actually, no, we should start from the bottom, huh? Let's start with England and Switzerland. What do you think?
Go ahead, Ron.
I picked them to win the tournament. I'm going to continue to pick them. I'm thinking it's coming home. I don't think that they're going to play well again. I feel like they're going to get all the way to the final with Southgate. They're going to lose, and then they're going to keep Southgate because that is the way that it will go for England.
Woof. Tough. I mean, I feel like you got to go for them at this point. From your perspective, you chose them.
Yeah,
it's coming home. I'm gonna go for the upset. I'm gonna go Switzerland. I think it's just time. It's time to go.
I agree with you, Steven. I'm really impressed with Switzerland, and honestly, Akanji and Cher in the back, like that's a good pairing. That's a very low key center back pairing, dude. And I mean, Summer, that guy's been in goal forever, so they got good chemistry. I think the guys up top, dude, I think Switzerland will win, and I would even say it could be 2-0 before halftime.
If they went down 2-0, there's no way back for them, I don't think.
I agree.
All right, well, let's go into the next one. Netherlands, Turkey. Dude, it's a very tough one for me, but at the same time, it's not, right? Come on, Turkey. I'm backing them, dude. All the way.
Let's go. I'm gonna go Netherlands there. My heart, I want Turkey to win, but I'm going with my head here, Netherlands.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the Netherlands back line, with Xavi Simons. That guy is so fun to watch. Depay has been doing well. I'm taking Netherlands as well.
The other side of the bracket has some juicy games, bro. Just on names alone, big man. So start with Portugal and France, dude. It'll be fun to see William Saliba against Cristiano.
It will be. These are my two teams I think that I have really been backing. So it's disappointing they end up in the quarterfinals together. I'm going to go France, man. I think they're just lucky. I think they just got that luck like that. So I'm going to pick France. It's going to be that's going to be an excellent game, but I'll go France.
I think the luck runs out, dude. I think it's really concerning that they haven't scored a goal from open play like we discussed before. I think Portugal has looked very organized and they've looked fluid as a team, and I think that they can score some goals. If Cristiano gets his head on one of these things and actually puts it in the back of the net, I feel like, you know, it'll be really good. You know, he's been trying, you know, he's been looking for that goal for the tournament. I think he might get one.
Maybe. I think a player I'd like to see on the bench for Portugal is Rafael Leao. I again watched that game and I wasn't impressed with the performance. I have to keep it real with you. I'm backing France. I think they will win. I think that they'll find their shooting boots. I'd expect Griezmann to maybe get on the score sheet. He's still one of their top players, and I'm very impressed with him anytime I watch him on the international stage. So France it is for me, but hopefully there will be goals. I don't like watching these games when there's 0-0 until like the 80th minute. I don't get a lot out of that, but there's been some of these that worry me a little bit.
I love when the tension builds. Oh yeah, there you go.
Tension. It does build the tension.
And usually it's such a jammy, lame goal too, I feel like.
Own goal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's nice because I feel like the crowd, you can feel the tension in the crowd, you can see the frustration in the players, you can see every call that goes the opposite way. It's just like frustration building. And to see some of these players be able to be relieved and to have some of that frustration be released as a result of the ball hitting the back of the net, I think that's a really gratifying thing to see.
It is. It can be. Well, let's wrap this one up with Spain, Germany. Probably an early final from what I've seen, and a bit of a disappointment for me personally because, you know, Germany, backing them to go all the way, expected them to have some tough games. This is going to be a showdown, dude.
Let's hear it. Who you got?
Germany.
Y'all chose
Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm going for Germany. I think they'll pull through it. I'm just very excited about the game, and we'll see. I think Kai will keep his place. The talks of him getting replaced that's just nonsense, dude. Come on, man. I will tell you, however, so I was curious if Nigelman did bench him, how I would feel about it. Would I respect that or not? And I think I would. I think I would because at the same time, you have to ride the hot hand. I was already like pre-Kai going and get the pen. Pre-kickoff, I was thinking that if this lineup comes in and Kai's not in it, you know, I'm kind of okay with it. I respect the manager for making that decision and riding the hot hand.
I like that. We're talking about these other teams where they don't make changes and stuff. It's like, yeah, if you make the change, like that's in your heart what you believe. And for that reason, I'm going Germany.
I'm going Spain. I feel like their wingers are so good. Midfield is so good. I feel like they just look fluid, man. I think that they'll be able to pass around Germany's midfield a little bit. I think it'll be a really, really good match. I'm really looking forward to that match, especially post July 4th. Nice little wake up, watch the match, maybe have a leftover hot dog, whatever. Maybe a brat because Germany's playing. But I think it'll be a good match, but I think Spain comes out.
That's a shout, man. Well, we'll see. Should we play a game of mystery, man? I think I kicked off last time, but I can go again.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
This player has played for Chelsea, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich. He is...
I know it.
Go for it.
Robin.
Yeah.
Nice.
I knew it was an easy one. I knew it was going to get picked, and it was tough. Good one, dude. Good one. You can read me like a book, man.
From that last one, like when he had called Giroud last week or last time as well, like, dang, you've been on his.
Me and Keon, we on our P's and Q's together.
That's my co-host,
one band,
bro.
one sound.
Gooner.
Funny. I'll go ahead and go. My player is an international captain. He is still in this year's Euros. He has played in 3 different countries, starting his career off at Basel. He also is invincible. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let that one simmer.
Oh, that will be Granit Xhaka.
That is the one. Granit Xhaka. There you go.
That's
that really threw me off at first because I thought it might have been Van Dijk for a second. I forgot Basel's actually in Switzerland.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Cool.
My player is one that probably we as fans, like at our age, probably know more for his international career. His team plays in the Copa. He doesn't play currently. He's a Premier League winner, Europa League winner, Copa America winner. He's now playing tennis for his age division in the ITF Masters, the International Tennis Federation Masters. He was the Golden Ball, goal of the tournament, and Golden Boot winner at World Cup 2010.
Oh, I know who it is.
We got
the free kick master. Is it Diego Forlan?
Yes. What a cool player, dude. What a cool player.
Those are some great. The 2010 World Cup is like, if for me, that's my World Cup. Like that's the one that I go back to. Jabulani.
That one's fun. I always think about 06 and Germany when I think about World Cups. But and wow, Waka, we've had some good World Cups, man. I'm excited for it. We'll see it in 2 years in America. If Copa is a precursor to that, I'd be a little bit worried. But let's round out before we go with some Arsenal transfer news. There's been things brewing, man, especially these links over the last 48 hours or so about a player who's been having a stellar Euros, Riccardo Calafiori. Shout out to him. I'm seeing some
beautiful
links.
Pronunciation. Beautiful.
40 million. Bologna, Juventus, Chelsea, Arsenal. Personal terms agreed. I read today. Who can believe that? Not me. So you shouldn't either if you're listening to this pod. But how do we feel about this, Steven?
I mean, until Fabrizio puts it on the timeline, I won't believe anything. But I mean, he had a great tournament, right? I think he's good. So position-wise, just center back? Like, where else is it potentially you think he can play somewhere else or no?
He plays left back, too.
Left back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great get for you guys.
I mean, we need a left back. I'm all for it. And if they don't get him, left back from Turkey.
Left back from Turkey, dude. Number 20, baby. Yeah. We'll see. You know, Fabrizio has put on the timeline that Sambi Lakanga is going to be on the move to Sevilla, it seems.
I did see that. That's the only one that I'm believing in right now. Seems like it's going to be a loan deal with a fee. I think they were trying to throw in obligation to buy, but they weren't agreeing on terms on that, so it might be an option to buy. But, I'm cool with that. Hopefully he keeps developing. I think he had an all right season at Luton. He had some moments. So, you feel good about that?
Yeah, I think good. Good. If we know, if the decision's already been made and communicated to him that you're not going to get that much playing time, then yeah, go and have a year of development. If we can get a buy clause in there, great. If not, I don't think it's the end of the world. He's still too young, and I think he still has like 2 or 3 years left, so it's not a huge deal. And look, he has to compete too, right? He's out there watching Onana. He's out there watching the golden generation go out and thinking to himself, maybe I can get into this team in a couple of years, right? So good for Sambi, always a Gooner, and still with us, of course. So we'll see. There's this other talking point going around that's Arsenal are interested in a German international. Have you seen this stuff, Steven?
Is it Kimmich? I have not seen it. Who is it?
I don't know. Apparently there's been some talks of a German international who's been looking to move some assets to London, and there's talks of getting a player signed right after the Euros who's a German international.
Ozil!
I've seen a lot of people suggesting Julian Draxler could be in the cards, so we'll see, man. We'll see.
That's honestly, that's all the reports say is German international.
Yeah, that's what it's been saying.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how everyone keeps
I kind of feel like
it.
I'm throwing out Kimmich because I think he's still having issues with signing a contract. There was those conversations a while ago.
I know City have been linked with Kimmich a lot as well, so it kind of makes sense. I feel like Arteta and Pep are pretty similar in the way that they want their center mids to play. But yeah, I could see him making a move to the Premier League.
We'll see. There's a lot of things that Bayern are trying to cook up this transfer window. It seems there was news of Olise officially, I think, going to Bayern. Great signing for them. I'm happy that he's not going to be in the Premier League. But apparently the Palhinha talks have kind of broken down. So Bayern is definitely scouting the Premier League, and maybe a German international will be looking to move out. Bummed about Olise, Ron? I know you wanted him.
I didn't think that he was going to come, to be honest. I thought that he was going to either stay or go to Chelsea. I wasn't getting my hopes too high on that. I would have really loved him, but it's okay. Vincent Kompany gets his man. Good for him. I hope that he does well at Bayern.
You got Eze on here, so it's Eze with Bayern?
No, there's been some Eze links. Apparently Arsenal are exploring a potential move for Eze, and I think I would like it. What do you think about it? Especially just, it would make sense if there is interest from Palace in one or two Arsenal players, a player swap, maybe a smaller fee than you would have. I don't know. I feel like the prospect of doing business with Crystal Palace is very likely this summer. And last summer we sent Agent Rob over to Crystal Palace, so who knows what Rob Holding is cooking in the background, man.
Yeah, I could see it. I know there was interest, I believe, for Nketiah from Palace specifically. So I could see doing we each pay, but it's basically a swap situation. I think Eze would be tight. I think he can play in a lot of positions, which is great for us. I think he could play at the right wing. I think he could play left 8. Do you have any? So Nico Williams we've thrown out. I think you threw out a João Gomez from Brazil. He was starting center mid. Has there been anyone else that's kind of piqued your interest? The left back from Turkey, I personally like.
Yeah, the left back from Turkey, number 6 on Turkey, Koçku. I think we've actually been linked with him before. He looked pretty good. I think that João Gomez from Brazil, number 15. He plays for the Wolves, man. And I think he's been there for 2 years now. Probably unlikely, but I've just been impressed with his performance. The guy for Netherlands the other day was very impressive in the middle. Reinders. He plays for AC Milan. He's 25. I actually ended up looking him up because I was pretty impressed with his performance.
he had a couple big forward runs, right? I know that he had that one.
Yes.
He had that shot, but it was blocked by the Romanians. But yeah, that was he looks good. I think it was Reinders, like you had said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes open for stuff. Just looking at players. There's been a few that have kind of popped up, piqued interest, but just nothing. I expect once the Euros are over, you'll start seeing a lot of links and whatnot. One that I've seen that seems like it might be substantial is DE LIIT.
Oh, really?
To Man United.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wants to go there. Maybe it's a Ten Hag thing, of course, but does that strike fear into any of you?
No. It's fine. Whatever.
I've seen them linked with a good amount of players. Their fan base seems to be pretty excited and already thinking of like every summer. Here we go. Here comes the revamp, dude. So we'll see, man. We'll see it when we see it on the pitch, I guess, right? For players, I'm trying to think, man. Oh, I gotta be honest with you, Steven. Just going back to the free agency, bro. Memphis Depay's having a very good tournament. He's having a good tournament. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's a great shout, Keon. It's such a good shout. I just don't know, like, what could he really cost, like contract wise?
Dude, can't be more than 250. 250? Is that what we're talking? Is that what we're talking, Edu? Come on, big man.
That's a lot for a rotation type dude. No lie.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the issue.
Maybe. I wish though. In my career mode, I think he would be signed.
He seems like a guy that would love to live in London, right? He just has I think he'd love it.
He would
come home.
He would, and he's been in the Prem before too, dude. We'll see. It's been cool this summer. I feel like, speaking of trading players or including them in a deal, I feel like that happens a lot in the video games, but I never really see it happen in the real world, where it's like, oh, we'll offer you this player and this much cash, and you give us these two players and other stuff like that. But it actually happened. Like Douglas Luiz, finally, apparently that went through, and it involved a player swap and some cash. It was cool to see.
I think that is cool. He came off the bench last night. I don't think he's been playing for Brazil, so poo.
I think City get like 12 million or something like that from that transfer, so it's a nice little chunk of change.
That's pretty cool, but maybe with that, we'll thank everyone for spending time with us. And remember, if you like the podcast, drop us a rating, drop us a review. It helps with the algos, and also share it on the socials. Tell a friend. I don't know, tell your family, whoever you think would enjoy listening to it. So take care of yourself, enjoy the holiday, and wow, I'm excited for all the games ahead.
Be easy.